What's going on? What the fuck is wrong?
Goody goodies dressed in white, it ain't hard to go to hell.
Nigga, what the fuck is wrong with you?
When I die, fuck it, I wanna go to hell. Cause I'm a piece of shit, it ain't hard to fucking tell. It don't make sense going to heaven with the goody goodies dressed in white. I like black Tims and black hoodies. God'll probably have me on some.
Good old Biggie. Anyways, let's see what Rubio's got going.
Something else we got out of the business of, well, it wasn't widely reported, or maybe it was. We had an office in the Department of State whose job it was to censor Americans. And by the way, I'm not going to say who it is. I'll leave it up to them. There's at least one person at this table today who had a dossier in that building of social media posts to identify them as purveyors of disinformation. We have these dossiers. We are going to be turning those over to these individuals.
Wait, what? So apparently Rubio has been holding on to some information.
And they'll decide whether they want to disclose it or not. But just think about
Rubio stunned the press by revealing the post-Biden
social media
files.
posts and commentary of American citizens to identify them as vectors of disinformation.
This is beyond me.
When we know that the best way to combat disinformation is freedom of speech and transparency. And so that's what we're going to be in the business of doing. We're not going to have an office that does that.
Oh, because this was so this was during the Biden presidency. When that shit happened, right? And you had that fucking lady, right? The disinformation czar, I guess we can call her. Or whatever the fuck they were trying to make her. Who made that fucking god-awful song.
Well, it's not easy to go last after all these reports that have come here. First of all, Mr. So it better be good, and I'll be short as well. A couple things, Mr. President. I think you deserve a lot of credit for two things. The first is assembling this great team of people. Some of whom I've known for a long time, others who I've gotten to know during this period of time, but putting together a team, not just of talented individuals, but that work well together. It's something never going to be reported on in the media or fully seen, but it happens every single day. For the most part, I interact with almost everyone around this table. At some level.
It's the pooper.
And because of Secretary
Or are
Kennedy,
you
I'm
here
afraid
to shit on everyone? Huh?
He said Tootsie Rolls are okay in moderation.
Hi, what do you want?
But it's
Hi
a
to you
great
too,
team.
you
And here's the
weirdo.
second, and I tell this to people all the time. This is incredibly rewarding service, and you hear it in everyone's voices. Traditionally, in the past, and it's one of the problems we got in as a country, is presidents would say, okay, let's go do something, and then they would have to do a study, and then a study on the study, and then a long internal deliberative process, and by the time you got to it, it was too late, or somebody had forgotten it. In this administration, it's moving. You know the direction because you know why you were elected. The American people elected you very clearly, and basically it's measured, I used to say by days and weeks, now it's measured by hours and minutes, but action is happening. And that's what people want to see. And let me talk about foreign policy in particular, because I'm not sure this is fully appreciated. This president inherited 30 years of foreign policy that was built around what was good for the world. In essence, the decisions we made as a government in trade and foreign policy was basically, is it good for the world? Is it good for the global community?
I don't
And
know
under
why that shit
President
fucks
Trump,
up.
we're making a foreign policy now was it good for America? I was appointed by you and confirmed by the Senate to be the head of the United States Department of State. Not the World Department of State, not the Global Department of State, the United States Department of State. And what that means is our foreign policy is guided by three things. Does it make America stronger? Does it make America safer? And does it make America richer? If something doesn't do one of those three things, and hopefully all three of those things, we're not doing it. Now, we went out and hired a consulting firm to help us organize ourselves. Luckily, they were free. They're called the Department of Government Efficiency. And they helped us do a couple things. Number one is our foreign aid. We were funding some crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. You tell me, how does a puppet show in some country around the world make us stronger, safer, and more prosperous? So we got rid of puppet shows and a bunch of other things. I'm sure there were very good puppet shows. And I'm sure that a bunch of charities in the world can go pay for it, but the American taxpayer should not. We've also, by the way, Mr. President, under your direction, reorganized the Department of State. We had offices within offices within offices that didn't even know they existed themselves, not to mention the rest of them. And so we've begun to reorganize that as a way to be able to empower our embassies and our ambassadors and our regional bureaus to do what many of them signed up to do. And we have a great team of ambassadors you've appointed. They're coming online every single day. Very talented people that are involved. Something else we got out of the business of, well, it wasn't widely reported, or maybe it was. We had an office in the Department of State whose job it was to censor Americans. And by the way, I'm not going to say who it is. I'll leave it up to them. There's at least one person at this table today who had a dossier in that building of social media posts to identify them as purveyors of disinformation. We have these dossiers. We are going to be turning those over to these individuals.
Me or Elon? We can follow up with the media story.
Well, we are going to turn over these dossiers to the individuals, and they'll decide whether they want to disclose it or not. But just think
Is
about
this
it.
me,
The
or
Department
is
of
your
State of the United
forehead
States
getting bigger
has set
every
up
day?
an office
Getting bigger every
to
day.
monitor the social media posts and commentary of American
Yes,
citizens.
I am
to
losing
identify
hair
them
by
as
the
vectors of
minute.
disinformation. When we know that the best
As
way to
one
combat
does
disinformation
when
is freedom of speech
they hate
and
everything
transparency.
in life
And so
and they
that's what
want
we're
to
gonna
kill
be in the
everyone
business
in
of doing.
life.
We're not going to
Yes?
have an office that does that. Beyond that, Mr. President, and this I'll move quickly because this has been a team effort. We have gone to countries all over the world and said, hey, you want good relations with the United States, you need to take back your people that are here illegally. And we've had historic cooperation. Beyond that, and I say this unapologetically, we are actively searching for other countries to take people from third countries. So we are actively, not just El Salvador, we are working with other countries to say, we want to send you some of the most despicable human beings to your countries. Will you do that as a favor to us? And the further away from America, the better, so they can't come back across the border. I'm not apologetic about it. We are doing that. The president was elected to keep America safe and to get rid of a bunch of perverts and pedophiles and child rapists out of our country. Here's something else we've done. We stopped giving student visas to people who are coming here to burn down our universities and take over libraries and harass people. Why are we giving student visas to people who are coming here to create disruption? And we've taken away the student visas of people that are coming here to do that. It's simple. If you're coming to America to start riots, we're not going to take away your student visa. And by the way, every country in the world that
You
I've
can
traveled,
deport
14 countries in
everyone.
14 weeks, you know what they all say to me? Yes, that's what we would do too. So the only people who seem to disagree with this are a handful of federal judges and a bunch of crazy people who get paid to write and
I'm
report.
going to solve
So anyway,
your
we're getting rid of that. The last, but now here's some good news.
You gotta take care
You
of
know,
that
we're gonna
hair,
have the World
Bromy,
Cup,
cause God,
the FIFA World
you
Cup,
make me want to kill you.
FIFA Club Cup, and then we're going to have the Olympics. So we have to have a consular affairs bureau. We have
Yeah.
very good, talented people there, but we are going to infuse technology, again, working with our consultants, to be able to, millions of people are coming into this country for this. And but we've done it to improve customer service. So some of us who served in Congress recognize that about a year and a half ago, we had a meltdown under Biden. You couldn't get a passport. You got people calling, I have a cruise on Friday, my passport expires. In the month of March, we processed 2.78 million Americans, their passports. That is the historic, never in any, it's the largest single month processing of passports ever. And we think it's a good way to build the momentum to be able to do the visas. Two last points I want to make. We have a great team that you've built. I want to especially acknowledge Steve Woodcock. This is a person that doesn't have to be doing what he's doing. He has a very good life in Miami, my hometown as well. He has worked incredibly hard, has done it without any agenda, and we need to acknowledge him. I want to acknowledge Mr. Boulos as well, who did something really great last week. They told us this war between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda is an intractable. It can never happen. It will never happen. I sent Mr. Boulos, your envoy. A week later, I look on my schedule, the signing of a declaration of peace between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda. We signed it at the State Department last week. We hope it will lead now to a lasting, permanent peace that we hope to invite them back to Washington to sign. So two great, and we have a lot of good people working on our teams as well, but these are two great people. Mike Waltz alluded to this earlier, and this is the last point. In the first 100 days of the 47th presidency, 47 wrongfully detained Americans have been returned to the United States, thanks to your leadership and the diplomacy that was exercised to make that happen. 47 for the 47th president in the first 100 days. And that's all credit to you, Mr. President. Thank you for the honor to be able to serve alongside you, for you, and alongside all these excellent people.
Thank you very much, Marco. Really great job.
Oh, there you have it. Just talking about how fast they've been going. And then you had them talk about Biden and their disinformation board at one point. What's going on? I can't believe I disagree with someone from CNN.
And this is where some of the hypocrisy to me comes out, Michael, because I've seen a lot of garment rending. Oh, he from liberals, let's just say it. How dare he arrest a judge? It is an intrusion on the sacrosanct nature of our courts. I agree that you have to think harder about it and be more careful about it as a prosecutor. But these are the same folks who were gravely intoning when Donald Trump got arrested. No man is above the law. Well, no judge is above the law either. And I know plenty of judges who, if a non-judge had done this, had shown someone a back door to help them get away from the arresting agents, would bring the house down on them. So, look, I do think it's a fair point.
There's
to
also
say
some people who
that's
said
a
some
precipitous line to cross.
And they're now
if you're a
getting
judge
fucked
or if you're a
with
prosecutor
Tisha
charging the
James.
judge. But I think the prosecutors, based on this complaint, we always have to say it's a complaint. They have to prove it.
No
But,
one's above
I
the
think
law,
charge here
right?
is warranted. I do think this judge committed a crime. I've seen some
Fucking
really
bastards.
interesting gymnastic style contortions to try to explain why it maybe isn't a crime. I mean, that'll be litigated at a trial, but I don't see look, when you look at this whole complaint, I don't see any way to objectively look at this and say the judge did not have intent to block this arrest.
I was not expecting that. But I was expecting not to expect something, so it doesn't count.
Wait, this is the judge running with a gun? Oh. Chief judge pulls gun on defendant and drug judge. Arrested on drug judge. Dumbass judge.
What's the problem over there? What's the problem? Is that a radical left lunatic?
Oh. Yeah, apparently there was some shit happening. I have to. Yeah, something. Is it here? No. I don't have it.
You brought up shocking moments coming.
Nice.
What's the problem over there?
Oh,
What's the
this is.
problem?
Oh, this is during the "What is a woman"
Is that a radical left lunatic?
thing. Radical left.
I don't like clowns.
What's a woman? I don't know. Biology? Chromosomes? I don't know. Vagina or dick? I don't know. You know that hey, white's greatest fear is to be unable to live around whites. God damn. All I can think about is fucking Nick Fuentes. You know that I hate white's greatest fear is to be unable to live around whites. Yeah. Yeah, this is Robert De Niro's son too. Yeah, Jesus. I didn't know that. Do you believe in the Great Replacement Theory? The idea that white populations are purposely being replaced through mass immigration policies. I don't know, man. When you have when you have all these photos of all these people around the White House, and they're all illegal immigrants that have been doing horrendous fucking acts. I mean, it's kind of hard. Not only that, but it's happening in UK land too. So it's like, maybe Canada land too. Who knows? Do I have another one? No, I don't have another. I thought I did. Biden administration. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we can pull up this. Just a bunch of people who just lied the fuck. All of them liars. And then you got these lizard people, right? The Biden administration delivered countless minors smuggled by cartels across the border directly into the hands of sex traffickers. These are the missing kids the Biden administration placed into modern-day slavery. Stephen Miller. Homeland Security agents in California rescued 2 teen migrant sisters, ages 16 and 18, from the clutches of the alleged sex traffickers after they came across the border as unaccompanied minors, per sources. I mean, look, I didn't have to tell you that. You heard it from Tom Homan, the border czar himself, at one point. Yeah, I mean, he's right. Look, people on the border see some fucked up shit. There's a reason why there's a lot of people that don't talk a lot about that stuff. It's fucking hardcore, dude. And there's some things that people should not see and know. Sometimes that's one of those things. You don't want to see that shit. Gonna make you vomit.
Kryptonite. Meanwhile, former First Lady Michelle Obama says Trump's deportation policy keeps her up at night. I get it. You'd be worried too if your husband's from Kenya.
In this current climate, for me, it's, what's happening to immigrants. So it's not the fear for myself anymore. I drive around in a 4-car motorcade with a police escort. I'm Michelle Obama. I do still worry about my daughters in the world, even though they are somewhat recognizable. So my fears are for what I know is happening out there in streets all over the city. And now that we have leadership that is sort of indiscriminately determining who belongs and who doesn't.
Indiscriminately, really, Michelle? You have to be in the country illegally. You have to have broken the law to be in the country illegally to be a candidate for deportation. Kind of an important point, but miserable Michelle wasn't done yet. She really does seem like the unhappiest person in America, even with the 4-car motorcade.
And knowing that there's so much bias and so much racism and so much ignorance that fuels those kind of choices, I worry for people of color all over this country. And I don't know that we will have the advocates to protect everybody. And that frightens me. It keeps me up at night.
Well, it didn't seem to bother you then.
We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked, and circumventing the line of people who are waiting patiently, diligently, and lawfully to become immigrants in this country. So that's why we need to start by giving agencies charged with border security new technology, new facilities, and more people to stop, process, and deport illegal immigrants.
That's how Barack used to campaign, and when he was in office, he was deporting millions. He even talked about targeting businesses that gave employment to illegal immigrants. I don't think this kept Michelle up at night either.
We all agree on the need to better secure the border and to punish employers who choose to hire illegal immigrants. We are a generous and welcoming people here in the United States, but those who enter the country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law and they are showing disregard for those who are following the law.
They're hypocrites, liars.
The corrupt media, our neutral observers, have hit Trump with a 92% negative coverage. So what's going on here? Well, Trump's revealed the true battle. It's between the ins and the outs, the self-obsessed versus the selfless. Every morning, Trump wakes up to life as an adventure. What can I do today? What dragon can I slay? Meanwhile, the aging Dems still cling to identity politics. They've become consumed by the self and left the world behind. Trump, however, has no time for who he is. It's what he does that matters. He's productive, not resentful. The future is his. The past is dead. Modern leftism is the reverse. It no longer seeks meaning in the outside world. It's now who you are, not what you do, which leads to nothing but disaster. Look at the border, crime, biology. The obsession with self replaced the pursuit of solutions.
Yes, the 100 days to the Democrats is like a complete fiction of the rest of our 100 days. So let's take the example that you just talked about, where you talked about an administrative error that needs to sort of correct someone's process, and I assume you are meaning due process. But this person was someone who was already deported and then came back against, he was a recidivist, illegal enterer in the country. And what I don't understand is the sort of wiping the slate clean that the Dems do when they are blurring out the signs on the White House and levying this guy, lifting him up as the Maryland father. I don't quite understand why it's as if their memory has only started from like 2 seconds in, so the conversation is just administrative. But the point was that this guy was a wife-beating, violent, gang-affiliated asshole that kept coming into our country multiple times. It should have stopped then. But here's the point about the 100 days. So we know that there's 92% illegal or negative coverage of the president. 100% negative coverage, by the way, of some of his administrative, other people in the administration, like the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah.
What is that? But if you dig into that, it was the lion's share of coverage was about Trump. So only a small portion was Biden, mostly positive, vast majority all Trump, totally negative. But here are the stats that matter. 96% of Trump voters are glad they know it was the right thing to do. 86% know that his economic policies will make us stronger. Half of those say, yep, it's going to be a little rocky, the rocky part we went through, but we know it's going to make us stronger. So the media to the left, hair on fire, their 100 days is everything's blowing up. We tried constitutional crisis. We tried everything. Now we're going to try impeachment since the lawfare didn't work, since illegal voting didn't work. That's where they are now. But the rest of the Americans are glad they are on this ship that has finally been righted thanks to President Trump.
Desperate times demand desperate measures. And I agree that the Maryland father should get his day in court. Unfortunately, we had the doors of our country ripped wide open, and some of the world's worst villains and perpetrators are walking amongst us. So I think we arrest as many as we can. We kick them out. We move them out of the country.
I hate to say it, but we're already being destroyed from within. You already have so much fucking crime, right? You already have fucking the court system all fucking backed up and shit. And then now you have, right, some of these judges who are playing fucking weird games, right? It's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Just like we do here, we'll give them a piece of paper with a court date on it. And once they're all where they need to be, they'll have their little paper with their court date. And in 10 to 12 decades, we'll bring you back for your court date, just like they do
when they're here.
So yes.
Why do you come up with this? No, it's a great idea.
So yeah,
it's a great idea.
So we just mirror what they said. Democrats, you have a great idea. We're going to round them all up. El Salvador is a willing tax-free participant to hold said individuals. We will give them their paperwork and then tell them their court date is going to be in, and we'll get you there as soon as you...
Exactly what happens when they come here, and you're doing it back to them. It's perfect.
That's a great idea. What's the problem over there? What's the problem? Is that a radical left lunatic? He's just a child. All right, get him out.
All right, get him out.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ma'am. I thought it was a guy. Thank you.
I thought it was a guy.
And she now has to go home to a mother who's a big Trump fan. Her mother's watching. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I said he, and it's a she. I'm sorry.
Is it a man or a woman?
Oh yes, it can be hard to work out whether some of these radical left lunatic non-binary folk are male or female.
Do you believe a trans woman is a woman?
Look, I think the Supreme Court has answered that question.
So you don't believe a trans woman is a woman?
Look, a woman is an adult female, and the court has made that absolutely clear. I actually welcome the judgment because I think it gives real clarity. It allows those that have got to draw.
What's so hard to? He went to school. What is so hard to say that a woman is a biological being that's made from chromosomes? It's so easy. Just say biology, you fucking dumbass.
Guidance to be really clear about what that guidance should say.
A trans woman, also known as a man identifying as a woman, who fled to the UK.
Yeah, just say human anatomy, you fucktard. Jesus.
But it hasn't worked out well.
Decided to come to the United Kingdom, which has been a huge mistake, I must say. Not only the April 16th law that passed invalidating transferless genders, tensions shift very quickly when laws change. And yeah, found myself not welcome in places I was welcome just on my initial arrival here.
Oh no, all my safe spaces are being taken over. Oh no, oh no. Shut the fuck up.
Very quickly. It's been quite terrifying.
If you take that away and try to distill us just down to white folks, we'll be like Europe, an aging, slowly dying,
oh no, not this dumb bitch.
Former empire. The Roman Empire didn't survive because it didn't have enough strength in its diversity. It suppressed its diversity and it died.
That is complete bullshit.
Oh? What? Did I hear that correctly? What? I don't think she what? I think she needs to go back to history class. Holy fuck. That was like one of the most brain dead things I've ever heard.
The truth is exactly the opposite.
If the U.S. wants to be the Roman Empire, keep voting the way you're voting, y'all.
You know, Joy's mad fever dreams about Trump and white supremacy seem to impact her entire worldview. But you can't change history, Joy. Well before the fall of the Roman Empire, the emperor granted full Roman citizenship to all free men within the empire, changing the entire scope of citizenship to be far more inclusive. Facts are our friend.
Facts or truth.
That's kryptonite.
To the left.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh.
Wait till I say go, okay? No, Getty, stay, bitch.
Oh!
Oh, bitch, you got me fucked up.
Holy shit. Oh, what the fuck?
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no, the dog is crying.
Oh my
He's
gosh,
so
guys,
sad.
look, Duke fell asleep while looking out the window, waiting for his dad to come home.
What the
It's hysterical.
Alright, anyways. There you have it. Noxious YouTube. U.S.-Ukraine signed long-awaited minerals deal.
As we've been reported, Ukraine and the U.S. on Wednesday signed an investment deal that will give the U.S. access to a key minerals deal after months of negotiations.
We finally got the deal.
CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata joins us now. Charlie, what more can you tell us?
Well, Lindsay, we have to point out, first of all, that this is breaking and developing, so a little bit scant on details, and the information that I am getting is pretty technical. But the Ukrainians are framing this at least as part of an investment fund. In fact, they're calling it the United States-Ukraine Reconstruction Investment Fund. One of the sticking points up until now is that the Trump administration had wanted the money raised or the funds raised about this to go against what the United States has already provided in terms of like military assistance to Ukraine and aid to Ukraine from that standpoint. But as far as the Ukrainians are concerned, and as far as this investment fund is concerned, this is all going forward. In fact, Ukraine is very sensitive about it. They're calling it a 50-50 deal. Ukraine maintains sovereignty over its natural resources. However, the deal will provide the United States access to new investment projects. Okay, so that's key. Natural resources, including aluminum, graphite, oil, and natural gas. The Treasury statement reads in part, in recognition of the significant financial and material support to that the United States, people of the United States have given to the defense of Ukraine. So it makes a nod to that. Since the full-scale invasion, this is an economic partnership that positions our country to accelerate Ukraine's economic recovery. Sorry, it's a bit wordy there. But we should be careful not to use this shorthand as like a minerals deal, partly because the Treasury announcement doesn't mention the word minerals in it. It might be minerals adjacent, but from what we've been able to ascertain at this point, still to be confirmed, if not decided, and pardon the phrase, but Ukraine is sitting on a gold mine of mineral reserves, right? And they're the big ones for technology: lithium, titanium, graphite, zirconium, et cetera. So absolutely a positive step forward in U.S.-Ukraine relations. Breaking news, it's to inspire global investment. And in a way, it puts some of those natural resources out of the hands of Russia. And as the Treasury Secretary put it, this agreement signals clearly to Russia Trump administration's committed to a peace process centered on free, sovereign, and prosperous Ukraine over the long term.
All right, Charlie D'Agata, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have it. So we finally got the minerals deal after after all the fucking hiccups and dumb shit people were trying to fucking do. Ugh. Oh, sorry. I was looking for new. What do we got? Apparently, the Senate rejects efforts to block Trump's tariffs because they were trying to do that. I forgot if they did they give us the ruling? I think they did. Yeah, they're counting the votes right now.
Okay. We've got the yeas 49, the nays 49. The joint resolution fails passage.
49 yay, nay 49.
The majority leader.
Mr. President, I move to reconsider the vote, and I move to table the motion to reconsider.
The question on motion?
I ask for the yeas and nays.
Is there a sufficient second?
Is there a sufficient second? There is.
There appears to be.
There appears to be.
The clerk will call the roll.
No more Timu with this cheap plastic. Hmm. All right. What do we got?
You brought
Oh,
up
this
El
is the other
Salvador in
thing.
your remarks. Have you been in touch with El Salvador about returning Abrego Garcia? Has a formal
They're still on this, but yeah, again, they're still on this guy. They still want to bring his ass back for some reason.
request from this
Dude, it's
administration been made?
every day
Well,
with
I
this
would never tell you that. You know
motherfucker.
who else I'll never tell? A judge. Because the conduct of our foreign policy belongs to the President of the United States and the executive branch, not some judge. So we will conduct foreign policy.
I don't know what the fuck.
If we need to. But I'll never discuss it.
People are fucking
And no one
out
will
of
ever
their
make
minds.
us discuss it because that's how foreign policy works.
Mr. President, yesterday you told ABC News yesterday that you could get Abrego Garcia back if you wanted to. Do you think President Bukele would turn you down if you made that request?
I really don't know. I know that he's been a great friend of our country. He's gotten a lot less money than this would take from us if we were going to build these jails and do what he's doing. And they run a very professional operation. I don't know. I haven't spoken to him. I really leave that to the lawyers, and I take my advice from Pam and everybody that is very much involved. They know the laws, and we follow the laws exactly.
There it is. I don't know. I feel like some people need to start asking certain questions to fix their fucking life or something. Yeah. They need to start asking ChatGPT how to fix their own fucking life. Hey, ChatGPT, how the fuck do I get a job? I don't know, how do I get healthcare? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Start fucking asking it questions, you goddamn fucking idiots.
Yes, I said the choice to be on this ticket, the privilege of being on it. When you sign up for this, I'm a team player. I'm with it, and there's folks that I recognize are smarter than me. They
Tim,
analyze
I do
this.
not want
put
you on
your
my
input
team. I'm
in,
sorry.
running a
Fuck
campaign
out.
that had never been run before, 100 days, in the situation we were at, running against a very unusual opponent on the other side, and. Look, my job was to do it. Look, I knew I was on the ticket. I would argue because we did a lot of amazing progressive things in Minnesota.
You take that
improved people's
tampon and you
lives.
shove it
But I also was
right
on the
up your
ticket, quite
keister,
honestly,
you fucking
you
piece
know,
of shit.
because I could code talk to white guys watching football, fixing their truck, doing that I could put them at ease. I was the permission structure to say, look, you can do this and vote for this. And you look across those swing states, with the exception of Minnesota, we didn't get enough of those votes.
But you could be giving them permission on TV every day. You could have been messaging that way, and that isn't necessarily how it shook out.
Well, yes, but I also said I understand myself. I said I think I'll give you pretty good stuff, but I'll also give you 10% problematic. And so somebody's got to make the decision here to handle some of this stuff and to make it. And those are just decisions that were made. And I think after the fact, it is not second guessing or anything. I think it's fair to go back on and look at this. Look, we had the most qualified person who'd run for president in this country's history at the top of the
I'm sorry, did you just say Kamala was the
ticket.
top?
That
the
in
ticket?
itself should have got this thing won.
Yikes. Yeah. That's a fucking yikes. Even if you would have put, even if you put fucking like a Newsco or any of those other fucks. Oh man, you guys are fucking cooked. You guys are so fucking horseshit now. It's fucking insane. Kanye West speaks on Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole. Oh my god. Yeah, apparently Kanye West has been going on podcasts and streams with like Sneeko and fucking those dumbasses. Those fucking retards on the internet. Mr. Beast is getting backlash for killing trends. Kills all those. I saw this and I was like, hey. Media says no evidence. Demon horned man with Sith tattoos and red lightsaber. A member of the Sith. Oh, shit. Exactly, bigots. What do we got here? How is this real?
You know, first they came for.
Oh no, not this fucking idiot. Oh god. This guy's a retard. Don't listen to this fucking idiot.
The Latinos.
Mr.
Outside of the
Hank
Home
Johnson
Depots,
from Georgia.
trying to get work so that they could feed their families.
And you know how Georgia is, right?
And I didn't say anything about it because I'm not a Latino at the Home Depot.
Man, he went full stereotypical there. Holy fuck. Holy shit.
That's racist?
Then they came for the Hispanic-looking folks.
Just stop. You need
wearing
to stop.
hats backward with tattoos.
Jesus fuck.
And they
He's
deported
talking about
them
the fucking
to El Salvador.
MS-13 and
I didn't say
gang
anything
members
about
in
that
Tren de
because
Aragua.
I don't wear my hair backward, and I don't have any tattoos, and I don't look like a Latino. Then they came for the Latinas at home taking care of the children. They scooped up the Latinas and the children, some of whom were American citizens, one of whom was receiving treatment for cancer. They swept them up, took them off,
that's
and deported them.
so no, that didn't happen. They're lying. That person probably doesn't have cancer. They're just trying to make it so, you know.
And I didn't say anything about it.
If that was the case, why did they fucking illegally enter the fucking? What? That doesn't make any sense.
Because I'm not
Why
a
would
Latina.
you put yourself in that
I'm not
that
a
huge of a
child
risk when you have cancer?
who's an American citizen.
But wouldn't you be close to
came
like a
back for
hospital
the
and be getting yourself
students.
checked out?
Studying on the college campuses who were here on student visas. They sent jackbooted thugs wearing masks to pick them up.
Thugs wearing masks.
Take them thousands of miles away and put them in a private
man, I would wear a
for-profit
mask too just to
detention
beat up my
center where they
fucking
languish
opponents
at
if I
taxpayer
could.
expense. And I didn't say anything about it.
That's the scare
because
tactic
I'm
too.
not a student on a foreign visa. And then they came and arrested a white female judge, a state court judge, presiding over her courtroom.
I don't wearing
and
a
the
ski
litigants
mask and
therein,
fucking someone up. That sounds fun.
managing the affairs of her court.
Don't threaten me with a
came
good
and
time.
arrested
Okay?
her and perp walked her to jail And I didn't say anything then because I'm not a judge, a white female judge, state court. But then
Brother, what are you going on
they
about?
came for me.
They came for me.
And I looked around, and there was nobody left because I had remained silent, and they had taken everybody off. Now, I just kind of paraphrased a poem written by a gentleman from Germany.
Okay. So it has no relevance to us, by the way. Because if you said it was from Germany, I wonder what time frame you got that quote in. I wonder.
Which resonated back then as it does today. You know, first they came for the Latinos outside of the Home Depots. And I didn't say anything about it because I'm not a Latino at the Home Depot.
Yeah.
I need one guy who knows how to paint.
Hey, I was here first. Get fucked. Yep, that'll happen to people.
It feels as though there truly is like a team of Avengers focusing on the excesses of government.
The Trump transition team is racing through the picks for the new administration, really moving at lightning speed.
Donald Trump's picks are a show of force as he follows through with his promise to shake things up in Washington.
And they know what their job is.
Trump's nominee for Attorney General Pam Bondi was just confirmed.
Pete Hegseth was sworn in today to lead the Department of Defense. And Marco Rubio has been confirmed as Secretary of State.
Tulsi First dream team has been assembled.
Intelligence. The Senate has confirmed Lee Zeldin.
This is like the Avengers? What is this?
Brooke Rollins.
He's given everybody
What are
clear
you
direction.
doing?
We all feel called to meet this moment.
John Ratcliffe has been confirmed.
Kelly Loeffler.
Sean Duffy.
Linda McMahon.
Howard Lutnick as the new Commerce Secretary.
J.D. Vance was a fantastic pick. He's just been fabulous to watch as his message and his voice gets out there.
You have a president that has a mandate, and they all love each other, and they're working together.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been confirmed.
Christy Nome.
Scott Turner.
Chris Wright.
Chief of Staff Susie Wiles.
Doug Collins.
Michael Waltz.
Lori Chavez DeRaymer. Russell Vought.
Jameson Greer.
The American people voted for change like they'd never voted before, and with the help of this dream team, we're going to embark on the most exciting and successful period of reform and renewal in all of American history.
Oh my, it looks like a fucking sports goddamn commercial. Oh shit. That was pretty good. Fuck. USA! USA! Hold on, fuck, do I?
Was just confirmed.
Pete Hegseth was sworn in today to lead the Department of Defense. And Marco Rubio has been confirmed as Secretary of State. Tulsi Gabbard, the next Director of National Intelligence. The Senate has confirmed Lee Zeldin. Scott Bassett.
Doug Berger.
Brooke Rollins.
He's given everybody clear direction.
We all feel called to meet this moment.
John Ratcliffe has been confirmed.
Kelly Loeffler.
Sean Duffy.
Linda McMahon.
Howard Lutnick as the new Commerce Secretary.
J.D. Vance was a fantastic pick. He's just been fabulous to watch as his message and his voice gets out there.
Fuck
You have a president that has a mandate, and they all love each other, and they're working together.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been confirmed.
Christy Nome.
Scott Turner.
Chris Wright.
Alright. Yeah, apparently this happened today. Shooting in Times Square. We could probably look for more news on this.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox. The time 8:12.
Yeah, honestly,
on the
I don't
East
really
Coast
like
and
doing
5:12 on the West Coast. My name is.
I don't like I like waiting for more information on shit like this because holy fuck. Because when shit like this happens, it's gonna be a fucking long ass investigation.
Josh Breslow, and I'm here to bring you all of your top stories, live events, and breaking news. I do want to head to some breaking news that we have been following throughout the morning as a food cart vendor has been shot in Times Square. Robert Moses with our Fox 5 New York team following this from the scene and joins us now with the latest. Good morning, Robert.
Josh, good morning to you. As you can see, part of the sidewalk here at the intersection of 47th Street and 7th Avenue remains cordoned off. Part of the street had been closed earlier, but the streets are back open. Police tell us the shooting here in Times Square happened right around 4:45 this morning. Yes, that's very early, but Times Square is busy at any hour of the day. We're told a group of young people got into an argument with a food cart vendor. That group then crossed 47th Street. One person from the group then turned and fired a gun in the direction of the vendor. Another vendor came to help him, and that vendor was then hit once in the arm. He was taken to Bellevue Hospital. He is expected to recover. Police tell us that at this point they have apprehended 3 people. Potentially they have the shooter among those people, but their exact roles in this all have to be sorted out. Charges at this point are still pending. The mayor has touted the low level of shootings here in New York City, but anytime there is a shooting in a high-profile area like Times Square, it gets
people got angry over some food. Hey, look at that.
Breaking news here: 29-year-old man hit once in the
and then
arm.
You have people
he
crying
is
on the
expected
fucking
to be
internet.
okay. 3 people have been apprehended. Charges are pending. Josh, back to you.
And Robert, I know all of this kind of playing out right now, but do we know if the New York City Police Department, anyone else, does plan in the next little bit to hold a news conference? I know a lot of times they do after some big events happen. This is obviously a crowded Times Square that we're talking about.
We actually spoke to the chief of department, John Schell. He was on our air here in New York City this morning. We don't know of any larger press conference, but he gave us most of the information that we have at this point, which is that there was this argument between the group of young people and the food cart vendor, and another vendor came to his aid, and that's when all of this went down. No plans at this point for a larger press briefing. I would suspect that might be different if the injuries were more serious or if more people had been hit, but luckily it looks like the person who was hit will make a full recovery, Josh.
All right, Robert Moses there with our Fox 5 New York team. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We appreciate it.
There you have it. I could have swore the area's called the gun-free zone. Bro, I hate to say it, but gun-free zones don't fucking do shit. All the judges and all those fucking lawyers who's all like, oh yeah, we gotta put gun-free. Yeah, they don't do shit, sorry. Crime still happens in those areas. Why? Because criminals don't give a fuck. They never did. You people are fucking retarded. I hope you get fucking got. Jesus. So stupid with the fucking gun control. Fuck you. And you see why people fucking hate the US sometimes? Because of the fucking shit. Fucking dumb shit of people getting fucking shot on the street while everyone can't fucking defend themselves. Because you fucking allow this shit, you fucking political fuckheads.
Nightmare neighbors
Oh my God!
in
Some of you need to
Hollywood. People are
fucking
pleading
get
for
hung.
change after 2 vacant buildings have been taken over by what they're calling dangerous homeless activity.
People who live near the noise say that they've called LAPD countless times and have even reached out to city officials, but nothing seems to change. KTLA's Alina Abovian joins us now in Hollywood with more. Alina.
Hi there, Micah and Cher. And it really isn't just noise. It's they feel that their safety is at risk. Now, take a look behind me. You can see the 2 buildings right here. Despite the fact that they trimmed the hedges in order to see what activity is happening behind the hedges, people are
Yeah,
still
you got
sneaking
this
in.
shit
There's a
happening
gate, there's
too.
a fence, but it doesn't matter because
Fucking
they find
squatters.
ways into the property. And we
Still.
saw it happen just earlier today.
Like, Jesus,
It's a
fuck, you guys are
nightmare
fucking
right now. That's what's
horseshit.
going on.
You guys
A
are
nightmare is the only
You know
way residents on
why
this stretch of
everyone
Wilton
hates
Place
America?
in Hollywood can
Right?
describe
It's 'cause
what
of this
happened
shit
to
right
their
here.
neighborhood.
It's a lot of noise,
because of
a
the,
lot of
because of your
drug
guys'
activity, a lot
dumb
of criminal
ideologies
activity,
sometimes, your guys'
and
way of
it's very
fucking handling
dangerous.
some
Jean
crime,
Rice and her neighbors live in this
allowing fucking
building in
citizens
between
to
2
get fucking
vacant
killed.
buildings and this residential hotel, and say there is a constant stream of transients who have overtaken the neighborhood. They walk around unclothed, and even when police come out, nothing changes. This woman telling us she sees it all from her second-floor unit, where you can see the remains of several fires started allegedly by the transients.
Not only drugs, guns, there were snuff films. All these windows, before they were boarded up, had all kinds of porn and snuff film posters on it. It was insane. But they were going back and forth, so they would hang out on the front porch at 1732 along with the prostitutes and their johns all day. Sometimes they would be awake for days.
They say the owner of the building next door is receiving government subsidies to house the homeless, but isn't doing enough to maintain safety standards. As for the 2 vacant buildings, KTLA received this statement from Councilman Hugo Soto Martinez's office, saying in part, this property has become a serious concern for neighbors, and we're taking urgent action through multiple routes to address this public safety matter as quickly as possible. First, our office is coordinating with the Department of Building and Safety to begin the formal process of declaring this property as a public nuisance. The case is expected to go before the Board of Building and Safety Commissioners in May. If approved, the city can then place a lien and take the immediate steps to secure the site ourselves.
They were talking about implementing security on the grounds, which I think is absolutely essential, and it needs to be done like now, not later. And they keep talking about doing this or that, but the thing is, we can't wait anymore. This is like an urgent matter. Our lives are at risk.
And not only are they seeking security, but the residents here say they want legal representation if there's an attorney out there that would like to speak with them regarding their rights. I'm Lena Brevin reporting live here in Hollywood, KTLA 5 News.
Lena,
There
thank
you have
you.
it. Mark Rubio shows down reporter with brutal truth about activist judges. There's a lot of them.
You brought up El Salvador in your remarks. Have you been in touch with El Salvador about returning Abrego Garcia?
Oh, it's the Abrego Garcia stuff again. We don't need to watch this. We already saw
Well, I
this.
would never tell you that. And you know who else I'll never tell? A judge. Because the conduct of our foreign policy belongs to the President of the United States and the executive branch, not some judge.
But there you have it. It's true. Oh yeah, this is why I'm so sorry to fucking content creators. Especially VTubers. I'm so sorry. There's a reason for that. There's a reason. There's a reason why. This person's wearing a filter. This person's actually a dude. Yeah. Even the monkeys just like, dude, what the fuck? Oh shit. I'm so sorry. See, this is why women are not real on the internet. So sorry. Oh shit.